Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dalton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together.
In Dalton, Illinois, Mayor Tiffany Henyard found herself at the center of a political firestorm during a village trustee meeting that veered far from its intended agenda. The event, held in a packed room brimming with tension and curiosity, quickly escalated into a spectacle destined to be debated for months. The evening's tone was set by Mayor Henyard's bold fashion statement, a gold blazer reportedly valued at $619. The striking outfit immediately drew attention and sparked debate, with critics questioning the appropriateness of such an extravagant choice amid the village's ongoing financial struggles. For many, the blazer became a symbol of larger concerns regarding the mayor's priorities and judgment. The meeting's agenda had been set to address pressing community concerns, such as Dalton's fiscal challenges and governance issues. However, discussions soon derailed into heated critiques of the mayor's spending habits, leadership style, and what some residents perceived as a tone-deaf approach to governance. Despite the mounting criticism, Mayor Henyard maintained a confident and unapologetic stance, which polarized the room further. Supporters praised her resilience and charisma, while detractors saw her actions as emblematic of a growing disconnect from the economic realities faced by her constituents. Tensions reached a boiling point when the mayor demanded reimbursement of $619, a sum she alleged was owed to her from a $10,000 training budget. Waving receipts in the air, Henyard accused trustee Tammy Brown of deliberately blocking the payment. This dispute quickly overshadowed the meeting's original purpose, as the mayor's repeated demands for her money transformed the proceedings into a personal crusade. Critics in attendance labeled her actions as petty and out of touch, arguing that focusing on such a small amount in the face of Dalton's larger fiscal crisis only further eroded public confidence in her leadership. Meanwhile, Henyard turned the tables, accusing trustees of misallocating tens of thousands of dollars elsewhere in the budget. The meeting devolved into chaos, with audible gasps and murmurs punctuating the heated exchanges. Supporters framed Henyard's demands as a stand for accountability within a mismanaged system, while detractors characterized her behavior as a public airing of grievances unbecoming of a mayor. By the time the meeting adjourned, the original agenda was all but forgotten. The trustees and attendees were left more divided than ever, with deep fractures evident in both the boardroom and the broader community. Outside the meeting, the drama continued to unfold on social media and in local news outlets. Photos of Henyard's gold blazer went viral, sparking animated debates online. Critics condemned the evening as an embarrassing display of self-interest and deflection, while supporters celebrated Henyard's audacity and resilience under fire. For many, the controversy surrounding the gold blazer and $619 reimbursement became a microcosm of Dalton's larger challenges: financial mismanagement, governance breakdowns, and a growing disconnect between leadership and residents. Whether seen as a defiant leader standing firm under pressure or a symbol of misplaced priorities, Mayor Henyard's actions ensured her tenure remains a focal point of public scrutiny. The events of that night underscored the complexities of leadership in a community where emotions run high and the stakes are even higher. As Dalton continues to grapple with its challenges, one thing is certain: the evening's spectacle will not be forgotten anytime soon.
The announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested.
The drama at Dalton's village trustee meeting reached new heights when Mayor Tiffany Henyard shifted the focus of the evening from her $619 reimbursement demand to sharp accusations of financial mismanagement within the village. Her fiery critique intensified the tension in an already divided room, painting a picture of reckless governance and misplaced priorities. Henyard lambasted the trustees for what she described as wasteful spending that drained Dalton's finances, while essential services languished. Among her pointed criticisms, she highlighted the months-long lack of internet access for village employees, despite the continued payment of exorbitant fees to an internet provider. She also brandished an invoice for $336,500 for legal services provided by the trustee's attorney, juxtaposing the hefty figure with her own modest $619 request. "The math just doesn't add up," she stated bluntly, her frustration palpable. Her critique didn't stop there. Henyard pointed to what she described as a pattern of frivolous expenditures, singling out a recent Valentine's Day event as a glaring example. She alleged that the celebration cost thousands of dollars in police overtime, with officers reassigned from their regular duties to serve as her personal security detail during the event. "We can't afford this," she declared, her voice tinged with exasperation. "And yet, they're throwing parties while the rest of us are trying to keep the village afloat." The mayor's remarks painted a grim portrait of Dalton's governance, accusing the board of prioritizing extravagant events over critical community needs. She argued that essential services were being neglected and pressing financial issues ignored in favor of maintaining an illusion of affluence. Her impassioned speech resonated with some attendees who nodded in agreement, while others rolled their eyes at what they saw as hypocrisy, given her own spending controversies, including the infamous gold blazer and her dogged pursuit of the $619 reimbursement. By the end of her fiery critique, Henyard had successfully shifted the spotlight from her personal grievances to a broader indictment of the village's leadership. Supporters applauded her for drawing attention to alleged mismanagement, while critics accused her of deflecting blame and further stoking tensions. What began as a routine meeting to address community concerns evolved into a heated debate over fiscal responsibility, leadership, and Dalton's future. As the meeting adjourned, the unresolved tensions and fiery exchanges left the village grappling with deeper questions about its governance. The night's clashes ensured that the debate would remain at the forefront of local discussions for weeks to come.
Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has...
The drama surrounding Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard continues to escalate, with new allegations and controversies surfacing at every turn. During a fiery village trustee meeting, Henyard shifted focus from her now notorious $619 reimbursement demand to scathing accusations of financial mismanagement by the trustees. Henyard accused the trustees of reckless spending that drained Dalton's finances while critical services were neglected. Among her claims, she highlighted that village employees had been idle for months due to the lack of internet access, even as Dalton continued paying exorbitant fees to a service provider despite email services being cut off. Holding up an invoice for $336,500 paid to the trustee's attorney, Henyard compared it to her own $619 request, declaring, "The math just doesn't add up." Her criticisms extended to what she deemed frivolous expenditures, including a Valentine's Day event that allegedly cost thousands in police overtime. Henyard claimed officers were reassigned from regular duties to act as her personal security detail during the celebration. "We can't afford this," she said, frustration evident in her voice. "They're throwing parties while the rest of us are trying to keep the village afloat." Henyard didn't stop at financial critiques. She accused the trustees of abusing police resources for personal political gain, alleging that officers were instructed to harass and follow their political opponents. In a shocking claim, a former police chief reportedly admitted to being directed to target specific individuals. "This isn't what the police are for," Henyard said, shaking her head. "The police are meant to serve and protect the community, not act as puppets for the trustees." Vowing to clean up what she called a mess in Dalton, Henyard announced plans to bring in outside auditors to investigate financial mismanagement. She also accused the trustees of appointing her personal attorney as the village's official counsel, calling it a conflict of interest orchestrated by her opponents. "Yes, you heard me correctly," she said, asserting that her rivals were undermining her administration. Henyard's insistence on the $619 reimbursement has become a rallying cry, which she frames as a symbol of her broader fight against corruption. However, critics were quick to point out the irony of her relentless pursuit of a relatively small amount amid allegations of her own questionable spending habits. Rumors about Henyard's alleged misuse of public funds have only fueled the controversy. Claims include $443,000 spent on Amazon in a single day and nearly $500,000 on her mother's driveway. To compound matters, Henyard is reportedly facing eviction from her home for failing to pay over $5,000 in rent. According to her landlord, Janetta Hall, Henyard and her boyfriend, Sim Woods, changed the locks to avoid eviction notices. "It's like something from a bad movie," Hall said after attending the township meeting to address the issue. Adding to the chaos, Henyard is now under federal investigation for allegedly using village funds for personal expenses, including luxury travel and expensive meals. These mounting scandals have led to a growing movement to remove her from office, with some locals branding her the worst mayor in America. Despite the mounting backlash, Henyard has declared her intention to run for re-election, a move that has baffled and intrigued many. "Whether you like her or not, you have to admit she isn't going down without a fight," remarked one observer. Henyard's detractors accuse her of deflecting blame and exacerbating tensions, while her supporters view her as a bold leader exposing corruption. Her vow to hold her rivals accountable has only deepened the divide in Dalton's political landscape. As the village grapples with escalating scandals, residents are left questioning whether Henyard is genuinely addressing Dalton's issues or simply fueling chaos for personal gain. Henyard's tenure as mayor has morphed into a political saga that blends elements of reality TV drama with real-world stakes. Will she weather the storm, or will her critics succeed in ending her controversial reign? And will the infamous $619 dispute ever be resolved? As Dalton's political landscape grows increasingly turbulent, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. Stay tuned for more updates in the ongoing saga of Dalton politics.